On Facebook it is. Okay, we might have to do a new one because it's not doing it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not working on YouTube.
Okay, guys, on Facebook, we're going to have to start a new one. Wait a minute. They say I see it.
That might be. Oh, wait.
Yeah, so I'm saying I see, but I don't.
I don't see it.
Okay, guys, on Facebook, we're going to I don't, let me,
My YouTube is not there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see it on YouTube at all. I don't know. Let me try my.
Yeah, someone else says I don't see you.
Yeah, I don't see it on YouTube. Oh, wait.
Let me see.
Yeah, I see it on my YouTube on my phone.
Says waiting for Melody. On
Okay, it's the second video. There's two different videos. The second video is working. First video is not.
Okay, I see. So, hold on, guys, just 1 second.
I'm gonna put a link to the new one and then we'll do that.
Yeah, I was doing that. Okay, well, if they're in the old video, they can't hear me. So,
I'll put a link in it.
and can you change all the links in the description and on YouTube, on Facebook links? Okay, guys, I am so sorry. Where am I? My things got all screwed up today. I am so sorry. It wasn't working, so we had to restart it. And so here we are in a new video. Oh, I don't have the chat. I have to, oh, I have the chat here. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. Here we go. Okay, I have the new chat for the new one. And Callie, can you delete that other video too on my YouTube so people don't get confused? I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, we're back. As soon as I can find myself. All right. Okay, let's start with this. Here's a shout out to a few of the people who support this channel on Patreon. Connie, Candy, Larry, Stampin' George, Jen, Nan, Monica, Pat, Becky, Chris, Mary, Priscilla, Evelyn, Kathy, Anne-Marie, Sandra, Noreen, Marion, Linda, Sherry, Misty, Mandy, Jessica, Jeanette, Tammy, Mona, Sandra, Linda, Chris, Vicky, Medellis, Ramona, Sherry, Brenda, Liz, Candy, Nicole, Pat, Lisa, Melinda, Wanda, Lisa, Gina, Michelle, Catherine, Sarah, Tina, and Rindy. A huge thank you to my co-sponsors. You guys are awesome. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I want to show you how I made this that holds all of your blades. Now, there are not this many housings and this many tips all at once. I have duplicates of some, and I don't have any of these tips on this one. This is like the one I created before. Let me show you. This is my old one. I put paper on it, and this is one with different paper. These fit inside your Cricut machine, inside the maker, and you can close up the maker. It fits through the bar. And everybody wants to know how to make it. So I share all my projects, and I'm going to explain this because somebody asked me, I didn't know that you had a site where I could get your projects. So I share all my projects with people who support me. You have 3 places to choose to support me. You can support on Patreon for only $2 or more. There are links in the description for all these. Or on YouTube, you can just click underneath the video and put join membership, and you'll get all these fun emojis. And you get a little badge next to your name. I got to click it on my emoji. So if you're on Facebook, you can't see these emojis, but you get to use fun custom emojis with little crickets and melodies and words and stuff. And also Facebook fan subscription. So you can, if you're always on Facebook and you just want to go on Facebook, you can go there and you get all my projects that I've created since 2014. I started Patreon back in 2013, but Cricut didn't come out with Design Space until 2014. So that's when I started sharing those projects. So if you have any questions, you can ask that. While I'm making this over here, I'm not going to be looking at the chat. I'm going to try to make this full, showing you exactly how to make it. So when you have the file and you have it all cut out, you can just watch that part without me being interrupted to answer questions. I will answer questions at the end. Please put them in all caps. Is Jamie here? Maybe Jamie, yeah, she can message me those important questions that I need to go over and look at that I might have missed in the chat. And I think that's it. I'm going to be using, see, and thank you so much, Brittany, for subscribing on here. This is one of the problems I was having is these things. Okay, I just fixed it to a better size. I don't know if the overhead Here's a shout out to a few of the people who support this. Okay. Yep, that was the wrong size too. Okay, I'm fixing things, even though you guys can't see anything I'm doing. Okay. So I'm using art glitter glue. I get it from May Made It. This is the glue I'm using for this. It held all these together. It held this together. And oh, I want to show you in Design Space 2 how to cut it. Let me show you. For those of you that have never used the knife blade, I have a video. We'll link that in the description too. On watch this before you use the knife blade or before you buy the knife blade, something like that. Because this is how you do it. You tape it on. And I want to tell you, my knife blade got stuck 5 times during this project. And I want to thank Cricut so much because now they have changed it. Before, when the knife blade got stuck, you had to unload it and start over and you ruined your project. I would have never have gotten through this project if that was still the case. So the knife got stuck, and I'll tell you why in a minute. All I had to do is hit the go button and the knife lifted up and started again. It was amazing. It happened 5 times during this one, and I'll tell you why. They have it set for, this is Cricut Chipboard. This is the only material, it's not the only material that'll work, but it's what's sized for, because I had to size the edges and the edges so they were completely covered. So this, the outer, you could have it just be the brown and you can use anything you want, but in my file, I have the file for the base of it and the file for this paper. This is brushed paper that I used on here. That's why it looks like metal. So you have one to cut the base and one to cut the covering. You could use vinyl or paper. Like you can use, I love this printed paper. The Cricut paper, you can use that. I also have a box that I made that matches it, that fits right with it. I didn't make one with the brushed paper, but I put magnets in it for the extra blades, and it has extra little blade replacements and things like that in there. So you get that file too. But I wanted to show you, you get tape on here, and after 11 passes out of 24, one of these circles came popping up. It was completely cut through. And that's when my knife blade got stuck. It tried to cut around the same thing, or these little pieces get stuck in there. So then I had to start watching it, and the little circles were getting cut all the way through. They were getting in the way. So I just grabbed them when I could while it was cutting, or if the knife blade got stuck going around there, I would grab those out. So I just want you to be aware, if your knife blade gets stuck, it's okay. And with the first one, I have to tell you, I thought it was cut all the way through because most of my little circles were cut all the way through, but it wasn't cut all the way through. I was still able to salvage the first one because I turned it over and used my knife blade. Not my knife blade, my True Control knife blade. And I cut that, so it worked okay. But I'm telling you this because I don't want you to think, oh, look, the circle's cut through, and then you unload it and it's not cut through on the rest of it. Only the circles were cut through. It did not ruin my mat. It's fine. But I want you to know you have to use the purple mat and you have to tape it down also. Are there any questions about this part? And there, I don't know where my Facebook questions went. Sorry. There, I got them now. Lolly's asking, how quick does the chipboard dull the knife? I've never replaced the knife blade. I've used it a lot. I made lots of different things with chipboard. Can you hit pause to get the circles? You probably could. I didn't. I'm looking for a few questions. Is the box available on Patreon? I did not share this project or file yet with Patreon or YouTube members or Facebook fan page yet. I will as soon as this video is over. The reason I didn't is because I want to make sure you put it together correctly, because on one of these pieces you have to put the paper on before you glue it together. So I don't want you to miss that. I mean, it wouldn't be ruined, but I didn't want anyone to do anything wrong thinking, oh, I know how to do this, because I need to give you directions. Okay, I'm not seeing, let's go to Design Space really fast so I can show you this. Even if you don't have this file to learn, I don't even know what you guys are gonna see. Okay, so here's my file and I'm gonna click Make It. When you get my projects, all you have to do is click Make It. You don't have to download, you don't have to unzip things, you don't have to upload, you don't have to size things, you don't have to add more things. You just click Make It. This is how it comes up. Look, you're hardly using any chipboard, but you have to remember chipboard is only 11 inches long by 11 inches, and you never want to cut chipboard this close to each other. Okay, so what I did is I moved this down, move that down. I like to move away from the edges because if it is too close to the edge, the knife blade can get stuck, and we don't want that, even though it happened with the circles. And we don't have room for all of these over here because it goes past the 11 mark, and we do not want it right on the edge of the 11 mark either. So I suggest you move these things around. These, I think I don't know how I cut them, but you can move them. Just so they're not as close together as they were. So this is perfectly acceptable to cut it like this. Actually, I could save more by moving that up more. There you go. Make sure you're not past the 11-inch mark. I might move it away from the edge there. And that there's plenty of room around each one. The chipboard size is 2 millimeter. It's the Cricut chipboard, not the Damask chipboard. The Damask chipboard is only 1.5, although somebody in my Patreon club on Facebook did do the Damask chipboard and made theirs, and it was beautiful. You just don't need to do the covering. So this piece, this one, you really don't use that much. You can just leave this as it is because I used brushed cardstock on this one. So That's really easy. And so all you have to do is click make it. I just wanted to show that to you. Okay, now let's start putting it together. Okay, so this is the other one. Oh, and I wanted to show you. See, I made it so you can see through that hole, and it has a little shelf, and it has the same paper. It has the same covering. And I did try this without putting it so deep, but then I can show you down here. These were gonna fall out, so I wanted to make these a little bit deeper so they wouldn't fall out. If you move this or just touch these, I would feel awful if anybody lost one of these because they put it in here. And these here are closer together. You could put these up here. You could even fill, now if they, well, I'm sure they're going to come out with more tools. But as they come out with more tools, you should have plenty of room for more. You don't have to have all of these in here. You only need one quick swap, and then you can use these. But then you have room for more tools as they do come out. Let's stick that in there too. Okay. And I put all of these tools in the front so you can see which one they are. Because from the top, you can't always tell. You can tell the quick swap ones because they have that little silver button there. But the other ones, I don't know if they're coming out with more or not. I imagine they're going to keep coming out with more blades. But you'll be able to see them here instead of them in the back. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and as I put this together, I am going to have to be looking at this one or these because I had to do that while I was like, how did I do that? So today we're using purple glitter paper from Cricut. This is one of the from the pastel pack. I don't even know if this pastel pack is available at Cricut.com. I got it from Joann's or Michael's or something. I'm not sure where this one is available. But oh, we do need one piece. We need this piece and this piece. I did get some purple tape on some of these. Started picking that off. I guess I didn't finish, did I? I must have seen a squirrel. Also, this piece is going to go under here, and you want to make sure you have the right piece, that it fits. Oh wait, see, I'm totally not even doing it right. If you put this in this way, it won't fit. It does not go all the way to the edge, even if it's done the right way, because we have to leave room for the walls of this. And this, to tell the difference, see how skinny this is? This edges is kind of skinny. This one is a little fatter. So the skinny side will go first. And you are not gluing this here, so don't do that yet. But I do want to show you, first I didn't build that up more, and I just had it, I'm going to show, because you can do it this way, but I'm going to show you why I didn't. Because these sit in there, but like, see, I just barely tap it and it falls over, and I don't want anyone to lose their tips. They're too expensive to be losing. So that's when I had to go back and I cut some more pieces to add to that. So we're going to start with that part first. So I have the paper inside, so it looks pretty. When you do not have these all filled up, it still looks pretty. So to do that, I'm taking this piece. These are the only pieces that match each other, that fit just like that. And we're going to glue those on with art glitter glue. Oh, and it's time to stock up on art glitter glue. Well, I guess it's still summer. Maymay Made It does not sell art glitter glue in the winter because if it freezes, it's ruined. I think Amazon will, But if you get it and it froze on the shipping truck, it's ruined and you might as well throw it away. So Mamie cares about us and does not want us to get ruined stuff. You can buy a big refill bottle of it. I make sure I have that before winter time. She will ship it as long as it's above 40 degrees. Okay. There's that one. And, okay, we're going to build this little box. Can you guys see that? There's a little box inside there. We're going to build that box. So we have these two little pieces that are the same. We are going to glue those. Oh, wait a minute. I did it this way. Let's do it the way I did it first. We want to set this here so we know which side it goes. Make sure we're doing this right. I guess it doesn't matter which way it is this way. So we're good. So I'm just going to go ahead, put a line of glue on top of this piece with the holes. Only one side. And we want it to be on top of it, on the very edge. So I put it up like this. I push this down and this up against it. Oh, and you want it even. So I'm putting it up so it's even this way, and then down so it's even this way. Pushing the little bar down and pushing it together. There. Now that looks good. Now we're going to do the same thing. You might want to wait a minute to let that dry. You want to put enough glue here. We're going to do the same thing here. So it's not right on the edge, so I'm going to move it down this way. Push it down. I'm going to put it this way so it's even. Make sure it's pushed up into there. You can push it down this way, make sure it gets stuck there. I also added more glue, like in between the holes, just in the inner corners on each side, just to make sure it holds well. Those little tips are not heavy, but we just want to make sure there's enough glue there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we have the holes at the bottom, so we're going to flip over the pretty piece and we're going to add glue to this and put this on this way, so when we flip it over, we see the pretty holes. Now this is not hard to put together, but you'll have to probably watch this video again to put it together. And in the description, well, if you're already watching this part, the replay, in the description, I'll put what time this part starts. Or I'll put it in the post, what time I actually started doing all this, so you don't have to watch all that stuff from the beginning of the video. So I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put it on the side and tap it, make sure it's straight. Flip it over to the other side and tap it and make sure it's all straight. There, now we have that little box part. And we're going to set this to the side. Okay, let's start on some easy parts. This is going to look really pretty with my lilac maker. Okay, these two pieces are the same, and we're going to put these on both sides, so both sides of this will be covered. And to make sure it's straight, turn it on every edge to make sure it's a clean, press it down, a clean edge at each side. And then flip it over and do the same thing. Make sure you put glue on the edge. I would put it on the edge of the heart and the inside too. Somebody asked about the bigger hole at the top. This hole is for the rotary blade. You need a bigger hole than just the regular hole. So these holes are a little bit bigger than the holes for these, although these do fit in the tiny holes too. And this one does fit the lid also. So if you have the lid on one, you can put it in these holes as well. Okay, almost done. Okay, we're going to set those to the side. And let's go ahead and put this piece on. So this piece goes here. Now remember, you want this to this left corner over here. And this is going to be glued underneath here, but you can't glue this on until we get the walls on this. And we're going to do the same thing. Make sure it's all flat. Make sure it's all stuck down on all the edges. And then we have this big flat piece. This we're going to cover both sides. One of the sides is going to be for this. This cutout is for this little box here because I was worried about it putting paper, if we put thicker material there, it not being close enough to the wall because these holes have to fit underneath here perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and we put this one on last. Don't put the solid piece on yet. But this one, we do, yeah, it covers the whole thing, right? Yeah, we're gonna put this one on. So put glue only on the paper, otherwise you won't know where this cutout is. Whoops, I just put glue on my fingers. Okay. Now we can go ahead and we can glue this one down. Also, I'm going to put a heart on the front of this one because there's hearts cut out because of the sides of the material. So I'm not worried about getting that perfect until I do this. If you go on at least 2 of the sides, you'll know that's on there perfect, and press all along so it doesn't come off there. I'm going to go ahead and do a heart. You don't have to use the heart for this. And these circles. You have all these pretty things with these circles. If you wanted to like put polka dots on it or use the circles and cutouts for embellishments of other projects, you don't have to throw those pieces away just because you don't need them for this project. And we have all these pieces here that we're going to put on the edge after we get it together. Okay, we're going to build the main part first. So we're going to glue this piece on. So we're just putting glue there. I'm going to put it up like this and put it up against there to make sure I have it straight. Do it this way. Oh, wait. I'm going to add more glue. And put it together like this. Okay, we're going to let that dry for a second. But I'm going to go ahead and try the other side. So we're putting the 2 sides on. This dries pretty quickly. But it gives you time enough to move it. When you have to. And this piece is going to go in between them. This piece is not stuck on. More glue, Melody. So I'm pushing those together. This one's gonna have to fit in there. It does. As it did on the other one. Okay. Now I turned it over. Make sure this one is on the front. All these big holes will be the front of it. And so we're going to put this one on, and this piece that has this cutout is going to go upside down. So we're going to glue this on the back. Hold on. Let me look. This, I think, yeah, it glues underneath here. Whoops. This glues like this. Right? Yeah. And then this piece covers the whole thing. All of that. Okay. Just checking. Well, that one's not sticking very well. I'm going to go ahead and lay this one in here. I just did this yesterday. Oh, I want to put some on the edge here. We want to make sure this is completely on the edge of the piece. Like even with the top and side. And that looks like it is. I'm going to let it dry for a second. Okay, now we're going to try this piece again. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put glue on this edge. Or you could put glue on this edge here. There. Okay, now we have this done enough where we can glue this in here. The skinny side goes on the edge, but we don't want to just glue it there. We want to make sure that the holes are correct. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Now that came apart. I'm not letting it dry fast enough. sure this is out on the edge. Look, it's sticking there and I don't even have it glued up. Okay, so now I'm gonna make sure this is the right way. I'm gonna put glue all on this side and on the top. Wait a minute. It goes the other way. This way, because the skinny part goes on the edge. Look, that's perfect. Okay, now we're going to glue this piece on. It goes on the front. So we're putting glue at the top and at each side, not the bottom side. So it's going to go in here. And it does not have to be completely even with the front. Pushing that down. Oh, and this is still wobbly over here. So I'm just going to sneak some glue in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this on the back. Put your hand underneath it and don't just push down on it, especially when the glue is wet on the whole thing. Okay, we're almost done. Now we have to, this piece is sticking out a little bit. Put the edgings on. So we have these little pieces. And then we're done. and I'm going to answer your questions in a minute. And remember, you can use any paper. I found paper easier than vinyl. I did make some last year with vinyl covering them, and it was a little harder to put the vinyl on than it was the paper. That's why I'm just doing these with paper now. Or you could use poster board. You don't want to use something too thick though. I don't think I'd use anything thicker than the brushed paper. And I say that because this is kind of thick, and I think that's why this one was kind of hard fitting in there, because of I didn't make room for the thickness of the paper. One more long one. And this back piece covers up, if I put it on even, it covers up the sides of the back. That's why you put that on last. Then we're going to put a heart. And we're going to stick a heart right here. There we go. And then your blades will fit in. See this rotary blade, it'll fit in this one with the lid on it. See, it has a cap that goes on it. It will fit in that one with the cap on. And then your little tips will fit in here. And your other blades. You can't even fit, there's the quick housing, like a quick housing back here too. The quick housing fits in all of the holes except for these that, you know, are for, well, I guess it will still fit there. It'll just stick up. Okay. Do we have any questions? Let me. You guys can hear sound, right? Do I ever sleep? I try. Thank you, Wanda. And I'm not seeing my chat from Facebook. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's not here. Oh, wait. There it is. I do see the chat from Facebook now. So if you're on Facebook and you have questions, go ahead and ask them now. I will try to go back to the video and try to answer questions too if I can. Oh, it does fit inside the maker for storage. Let me show you. There's my maker. That fits there. Where's my other box? Oh. This will fit there. Well, I have to put this down. Oh. See? It fits inside. The file is available for patrons of $2 or more, or my YouTube members and Facebook fan subscription. They get hundreds of my files that I've been doing since 2014 when the Cricut Explorer first came out. I leave mine out of it too, out of the machine normally too, just because I just always use my machine. I always have it open. I don't sell the files. If you support my channel of $2 or more on Patreon, you get hundreds of them. And they are design space files, not SVGs. So some of them might have an image from Design Space, and if you don't have access, Cricut will ask you to purchase that from them, the certain image, but then they're yours for life, or you can delete those. This project is just made from free shapes. So what I try to do is just free shapes, and then they're completely free. To cut the chipboard, I had to use the knife blade, and to cut the glitter paper or the brushed paper, I used just the regular premium fine point blade your machine comes with. Yeah, the file on the small box is included. All of my projects you've ever seen me make in a video is included. It's not $2 for just the one file. You get hundreds of them. You get access to all of them. Do you know if Cricut has a reference guide? Will the number of the tips? The number of the tips are on here. I have that written down somewhere in my notes or somewhere. Like this is the debossing tip. It has a tip, a number 21 on it. Let me see if I can find that. Kelly, do you know where the note is for the tips numbers? Can we share that in the chat on YouTube and maybe on Facebook? Yeah, there's a link to our glitter glue right there in the chat from Nightbot. There's also one in the description of the video. Mary Jane's asking if somebody wanted to practice with the new tips and older ones like the knife blades, score blades. I would just use whatever material. I would use the chipboard to practice with the knife blade. Score blades, you can use any material you'd want to score, like paper or cardstock, poster board, the brushed paper. Yes, the round pieces popped out after 11 passes. Only one did on 11. And then as more passes came, more popped out. I let it complete to the 24 passes. And it did not cut through my mat. I actually cut on that mat twice with the same project. And it did 24 passes. Okay, Linda wants me to explain how I solved the stuck knife blade. the C button on the machine was blinking. That's the middle button. And Design Space stopped and said that your knife blade has been stuck. Said something on it. I don't remember what it said. But I just went to my machine and clicked on the blinking button. It was the middle button. I just clicked it and the knife blade pulled up and it just continued like nothing happened. I know in the past it didn't do that, but now it does. And now it is amazing. Thank you for your support on Patreon. There's the new blades. The debossing blade is 21. Number 41 is engraving. Number 11 is the perforation. And 31 is the wavy. Yeah, I got the chipboard from Cricut. It's in the description below. It's half price. All this stuff's half price. Well, all the paper and chipboard and the materials. If you just bought the maker, or if you just bought the new blades and tips, go to Cricut while they're 50% off. You can use my code MLANE. I do get a little commission only if you click from one of my links that I've shared in the description to the Cricut. So if you click on that, it will take you to the Cricut website, and the stuff is 50% off. The brushed paper is beautiful. And all of the patterned paper. This is Cricut pattern paper. I love this stuff. Yeah, the knife blade cuts the chipboard in 24 passes. It does just a little bit at a time, and it's really smart. It does some deeper, and I mean, it just knows when to cut. It used to be only 20, but I think they changed it, so they stopped having less problems. No, you don't need to run it through a grin, Evelyn. If you choose chipboard and you have the knife blade in there, it will just do it all by itself. The only thing you have to do is if the knife blade gets stuck, you have to hit the OK button. Oh, that code is wrong on Nightbot. Sorry, guys. My code is MLANE. I'll have to change that. I didn't realize that. If you know that it did not cut through after the 24 passes, you can click it to cut again, and it will only do one pass after each time you cut it. So it won't do all of them over again. If you click it to cut again, it will only do one pass, but you really shouldn't need to do that. I don't think you even have an option to add more pressure. I'm not sure. I didn't. Yeah. Are these products and blades only used on the maker? All the products, well, the paper, the brushed paper and the other papers are good for any machine. The chipboard can only be used if you have the maker and the knife blade. So the chipboard is only for the knife blade. No, Evelyn, you're good if you calibrated your knife blade. If you've never used a knife blade, you're going to want to watch my video. Watch this before doing the knife blade, before using the knife blade. Thank you, Tammy. All right, guys, I'm going to go. If you have questions, please ask them in the comments after the video, and I will try to get to those. I want to make sure you guys all have the project and the file. If you have any questions on there, you can ask on the post with the files also. And I will see you tomorrow, I think. Bye, guys.